Welcome to the Mabe Village video review for The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. First off, I'd just like to thank you all for coming and visiting Mabe Village, and for watching this video review, of course. Okay, so I'm going to open up this file, which hasn't been completed yet. I've only been in the first dungeon. But this will still let me show you quite a bit of Hyrule. Then you'll be able to see if I started a new file. Plus we can skip all the boring starting videos and whatnot. Okay, so as you can see, here's Link. Already you can see that the graphics are pretty advanced for their time. But I'll get to that later. For now, let's talk about controls. So this is Kokiri Forest, the first area in the game. And it's a nice little area where you can learn how to do pretty much everything that you're going to have to know how to do to beat the game, by using this little training area. Now, the controls for this game are really, really well done. You just slash your sword with B, you perform actions with A, use items with C buttons, things like that. And overall it works pretty flawlessly, even when it's transferred to GameCube. You know, you can Z-target, really helpful. So the controls get a full score out of 30, since controls can very much affect how a game is played. And it gets a full score of 30 out of 30% of the game's final score. Okay, so let me exit the forest. Since here I can only show you so much about the game, but outside I can show you a little bit more of Hyrule and examples of the graphics. Okay, so this is Hyrule Field, and well, I think it's best to start first with the audio of the game. Ocarina of Time has perhaps the most impressive audio of any Zelda game out there. And if you choose to listen to reorchestrated versions of the pieces in this game, they can be very impressive. You can't really hear it, but Hyrule Field theme is playing in the background. And when it changes to the nighttime, all sound stops. So, I'll just change it back to daytime. Another big part about the game is that the audio very much controls what you do, since you have to play the ocarina. But here you can hear the music a little better. Okay, so the audio, a game's audio is not so important, but it can incline you towards whether you like the game or not. So, still, it's out of 10. Audio gets a 10% of the final score. We can thank Mr. Condom, of course, for giving us this beautiful music. So as long as we're out here in Hyrule Field, I guess I could talk a little bit about graphics, since you can really see everything. Now, OG has been credited with having some of the best graphics of any game, really, especially of this time period. But as far as advancements, I mean, when you compare it to maybe another game like Super Mario 64, for example, the graphics are much more well done. There's a lot more detail given to the various areas, and people even. For example, you know, Link can't speak, but his facial expressions do somewhat express his, you know, his emotions during cutscenes and such. So there's a lot of detail given to many different parts of this game. And you can also tell the environment has a lot of different, you know, graphics. you can really tell that there's a difference in graphics when, let's say, you're in a desert area versus, let's say, here in Hyrule Market Town. You know, this place is lighthearted, there's people, there's houses, whereas if you're in the desert, it's sandy, there's sandstorms, you know, there's palm trees, here there's, you know, oak trees and things like that. Overall, the graphics really let you know where you are. And, you know, it really leaves a lasting impression. So the graphics, again, deserve a full score of 30% out of 30. So, the storyline of Ocarina of Time is very important to the Zelda timeline, as most of you probably know. And, well, it really lets you know a little bit more of Hyrule. It really immerses you in the land, and Link himself, you really feel like you're him, you know? So, it gives you a lot of stuff, and it gives you a lot of things to think about as far as Zelda and the entire legend goes. And really, you can look at it from 3 points of view, and either way, it really should deserve a good score as far as storyline goes. You know, you can look at it from the timeline perspective. It's very important to the timeline. It sets the stage of Hyrule for the rest of the games. Gives you a little background, you know. And as far as a Zelda gamer goes, the storyline is also great because it really lets you, you know, immerse yourself in Hyrule, and really lets you learn about the land, feel like you're Link. And if you're looking at the game as just a normal gamer who doesn't really have any preferences, you really start to, you know, like the game. It really impresses you, and you aren't confused about anything because everything is explained almost for the first time in this game. Now, as far as gameplay goes, this game doesn't get boring. There's tons of different enemies to fight, such as this little statue here. There's tons of items to collect. And of course there's always the storyline to follow. But an interesting thing in this game is that a few people consider it to be linear as far as gameplay goes. But in reality, it lets you do almost whatever you want. Like, if you're tired of fighting through dungeons, you can always go fishing or, you know, have fun at some little mini game somewhere. For example, the shooting gallery in Hyrule Market Town, later Mabe Village. So overall, the gameplay doesn't get boring because you have the choice to do what you want. You know, and there's areas to explore, there's people to talk to. So combine storyline and gameplay. You know, the storyline immerses you in Hyrule. The gameplay does the same thing. It lets you feel like you're in Hyrule because you're not just playing through the game, but you're experiencing the game. The land, the people within the land. You're not just talking to them for hints. You're actually getting a glimpse of their lives. You know, you can come here to Lon Lon Ranch. You feel like you're in the ranch. But I digress. Storyline and gameplay together make up another 30% of the final score. So that's another 30 out of 30. So, I'm glad you were here to watch, and that's it. Thanks for watching this Mabe Village video review, and I hope you, if you haven't played Ocarina of Time yet, I hope you get your hands on a copy of the game and have a lot of fun with it. Ocarina of Time gets a 100 out of 100%. A perfect score. I'm Kamikaze Plumber, and this has been the Mabe Village video review.